We are less than a month away from the start of Ragin Cajun baseball season, so I figured what better way to start off today's show than by bringing in Anthony Babineaux, coach of Ragin Cajun baseball. Coach Bab joins us now on the show. And Coach, do you still get excited like you were a player knowing that there's only a month left before the start of the season?
Absolutely. I still get excited, Ryan. It's a great feeling knowing that we're so close to that opening day. It really is, a little different possibly this year, knowing that we're on the road and it's not that true opening day at home like we're so used to having, but it's still opening day nonetheless, and it's a chance to compete against somebody other than yourself, which is what we're going to have been doing for probably 2 to 3 weeks leading up to opening day. So I know it's an exciting time for the players, the coaches. I know a lot of fans, all our fans are looking forward to it. So, it's very exciting. And I do still get that same feeling, that same warm and fuzzy feeling as I did when I was a player.
I think we all do here in Cajun Nation, knowing that baseball is coming back. But speaking of the way you guys are going to start the season with a lot of games on the road, have you and Coach Robe tried to do anything different or special to kind of prepare the guys for the tough start to the season?
Not really, man. We meet with our guys every week at some point and do some sort of motivational type meeting or leadership type meeting. Coach Robichaud does a great job in administering those meetings and really brings a great message to our guys each and every week, throughout the entire year. So we hit on some things in there that will no doubt help us in that. But, the thing that I think will help us, if anything will be the fact that we have an older group, a lot of juniors and seniors that have been around the block and traveled a lot and played at a lot of away stadiums and went through some pretty long, road stretches. So I think that's going to help. I think another thing that's going to really help is we're not going to a place that we've never been to before. It's at Southeastern. We've been there many, many times. We're familiar with the venue, with the surroundings, with everything that goes on at Southeastern during a game, from a fan standpoint. So I think that's going to help us out as well. If we'd be going to a place that we've never been before, I think that may be a little different. But there's this place is going to be very familiar to us. So I think that's going to aid in that 8-game road stretch that we've got going, or at least opening weekend.
Yeah, and Coach Babb, speaking of venues, I know Coach Robe said that he almost sometimes can zone out the construction that's going on around him just because you guys are so focused at practice whenever the guys are out there. But it seems like the construction crew has really kicked it into high gear the last couple weeks. The stadium is starting to kind of come to life around you. And has it been any bit of a distraction for the guys at practice, or is it just more of an exciting thing to see the process as it's going on?
It's funny because it's so massive and it's so great to see, and it's so loud out there with steel banging and bolts being screwed in, but it really hasn't been a distraction at all. I mean, we're the guys and us as coaches, we're able to lock in, just kind of zone that out and focus on what we're doing. I can't tell you that I'm sure this happens to everybody out there. I know this does for me. From time to time, your eyes just, you can't help but look into the monstrosity that's being built out there and just kind of marvel at how beautiful and gigantic this thing really is going to be. But for the most part, when practice is going and you've got a pitch bearing down on you or a ball coming at you, you really got to lock in and be focused. So, it really hadn't been a distraction. All fall, we had a great fall, really, considering everything that was going on to really prepare us for this spring. So, we're doing the best we can out there. The contractors are doing the best they can. We're both trying to stay out of each other's way. There's some things that they would like to do that they work with us on. There's some things that we would like to do that we work with them on. So, everything has been really, really cordial and good throughout this whole process. So, I expect for these next 30 days it to be the same.
Cannot wait until all the fans can get out into Russo Park. But, Coach, I'm glad you brought up leadership and the amount of veterans you guys have on this year's squad. If people just go and check out the roster, they'll see all the seniors and juniors you guys have. But specifically with the seniors, I can kind of see two guys that are kind of lifers that could emerge as leaders in Joe Robbins and Bren Conrad, who have been kind of the guys that have grabbed the reins leadership-wise.
Well, definitely those two guys. Like you said, lifers, they've been here. This is Joe's 5th year, pretty much the same for Bren. He had a short stint where he was away from us for a little bit, but those are the two main guys that kind of, make everything go and just know everything there is to know about the program and what we expect as players out of this program. There's some other guys, too, that are doing a great job. A guy like Alex Pinero, and then that's on the position player side of it. On the other side, you got a whole nother set on the pitching side of it, from Gunnar Leger to Dylan Moore to Wyatt Marks to Evan Guillory to Nick Lee and Hogan Harris, who are now in their second years but got a lot of time last year. Same thing with Hunter Castles. He's only a sophomore, but was just about an everyday player last year. So, we've got a lot of leadership on this team. We have a lot of experience. There's not a whole lot of things that we can say to these guys that they haven't heard before. The new guys, obviously, but they've come in and accepted everything greatly and, taken it as a privilege to be here, look at it as such, and really busted every day that they're out there on the practice field. So, we love the chemistry of the team. We like the direction that it's going to, and especially, who's emerging as leaders. So, things are good right now. I'd be lying if I'd say that every day out there is a great practice and nobody does anything wrong. That's not the case. That's not the case with any team. But we are having some good practices. Guys are being vocal. There's great energy that's being brought out there. So, and that's what we want to see. We want to see a lot of energy. We want to see guys vocal. We want to see some guys calling other guys out if they need to be called out, and those are the things that we're definitely seeing.
Anthony Babineaux is our guest, getting everybody ready for some Ragin' Cajun baseball, less than a month away. And, Coach, you guys did bring in some new faces to inject a little bit of talent into the roster, like you always do, but some big names like Todd Lott, Handsome Monica. I know you guys brought in some other people. Who are some of the guys that you are expecting to contribute early and often right now that have really emerged?
Well, you mentioned Handsome Monica, behind the plate, a junior college transfer from Northwest Florida, but from here in Louisiana, around the Covington, Slidell, Mandeville area. He's done a great job behind the plate. He's going to be our guy behind there. Don't know or expect him to do what Thurman did last year in catching 6,000 and something pitches throughout the season. But, he's going to be the guy back there. He's done a good job. He's a real vocal guy out on the field, which is what you need, especially at the catching position. Another guy you mentioned, Todd Lott, has come in from Jacksonville, Florida, a true freshman, serious talent that he is. He's a very accomplished hitter for his age, being just a freshman. So he's another guy that's we are pretty certain that's going to be able to contribute almost immediately. On the pitching side of things, a junior college left-handed pitcher from San Jacinto, Colton Schmidt, has really done a good job this fall. Commands the strike zone very well, throws with a little velocity, but also has a very good changeup, very good curveball. So, and then another guy in the outfield, the older guy, junior college from California, Tyler Stover, a guy that can play first base, can play anywhere in the outfield, a bigger guy, 6'3", 6'4", but lean, can run a little bit. So, the new guys have come in and really done a good job. A couple of the freshmen have come in, also done a good job. So, the new guys have taken to it quickly. They really have, especially coming back this spring semester. In the fall, everybody goes through, their ups and downs as new guys getting adjusted to this level of baseball. But, when they come back from that Christmas break, they're a lot more relaxed. They're a lot more comfortable. They're a lot more confident in not only their abilities, but in their knowing of the system and everything that's been taught to them throughout the fall semester. So, it's exciting when we get back in the spring to see those transformations, to see the progress that all the new guys and even some of the older guys make also. So that was very exciting to see, over these last couple of weeks.
And Coach, I got two more questions left for you. One of them is about your pitchers. I mean, I feel like it's kind of a Wolfpack mentality of some of those guys that came in together. I mean, Wyatt Marks, Gunnar Leger, Guillory, Dylan Moore. Now that they're juniors and not underclassmen, have they embraced the leadership part of that?
Oh, absolutely, they have, without a doubt. Another guy like Chris Charpentier, who's a quiet leader, doesn't say much, but leads by example, leads by his actions. But those big four that you mentioned, Gunnar, Wyatt, Evan, and Dylan, all four of those guys are just tremendous leaders. They're always prepared, always showing the right way. Always leading guys, always teaching guys. We're in a fortunate situation. We really are, that with those four guys, especially, to come in as freshmen together like they did, to have the success early that they did, and to continue that success, and then by the time they're juniors, you've got those guys as your leaders. We haven't been able to say that too often because we've always had a freshman or two that have come in and made an impact. But when you get four guys like that have come in and do what they did very, very early and continue that success throughout their career, that's very special. It doesn't happen often. And trust me, we don't take that for granted because, as a coaching staff, when we meet and talk about recruiting and when we talk about, things for down the road, even as early as next year, if some of these guys get drafted and signed, we're like, man, no Gunnar, no Dylan, no Wyatt, no Evan. It's not fun to think about. It's really not. But we know that there's other guys waiting in the wings, that are on the club this year, that will be on the club next year as new guys coming in. So, but those guys are special. They really are. I know they've meant a lot to this program. This program has meant a lot to them. And, we're truly thankful that those guys are Ragin Cajuns.
And just a quick follow-up on your pitching staff. Is there a guy that has made a huge jump from where he was at last year to where he is going into this season?
Well, yes, there has been. There has been. Jack Burke, who redshirted last year, right-handed pitcher from Jesuit High School in New Orleans. A tremendous jump. Last year he was good, but he just wasn't ready yet, and really, wasn't really needed with the pitching staff that we had. But he went off this summer, pitched all summer, did really well, and this fall was just a different man. He really was. He's a guy that could be a starter for us if he doesn't start, because we have so many good starters, an excellent bullpen guy, whether it be to come in and clean up an inning or whether it be somebody in long relief that we need. He's the guy that comes to mind. Another guy that it's good to have back, is Colton Lee. Colton Lee served a suspension last year and really worked throughout that year to, turn some things around, and he's getting paid back right now. He really is. So, having him back is an added bonus because he was very good for us 2 seasons ago.
And last one for you, Coach Babin. Again, thank you for spending a little bit of time with us here. Whenever it comes to your lineup, I know a lot of that depends on who can prove to be reliable in the field and how you kind of fit those pieces everywhere around. But do you think this is going to be one of those years where you and Coach Robe can kind of settle on a lineup before about midway in the season, or you guys think you might have to tinker this one for a while?
Well, usually the beginning of the season, you're tinkering. The thing about us offensively this year is we're probably going to have 11 to 12 guys that deserve to play every day or to be in the offensive lineup. The biggest problem with that, as you know, is only 9 get a chance to go out there. So, there's going to be some tough decisions that have to be made. For example, Todd Lott, who's coming off of labrum surgery, he's been fully cleared, fully released, but, that arm is still not at full strength. So can he play in the outfield and bear down on the throw if he's got to really get a ball in to throw somebody out? If he can't and he's swinging it well enough, which we anticipate he will, there's a DH. And then you have Steven Sinsley. who DH'd some for us last year, who played in right field also. Then you have Brent Conrad, who can no doubt play second base, play third base. But then you have Brad Anchak and Hunter Castles, who, Hunter Castles played second base almost all fall and did a really good job with it. Turns a double play over very quickly, gets rid of the baseball, and turning that double play, which we absolutely love to have in a second baseman. So there's another thing. If Bryn's not on the field, we think his bat is definitely going to have to be in the lineup. So Bryn's the DH. So we've got some things that we've got to figure out. But eventually, usually, just like every year, we settle in on one, and at least that's the goal. You want to try to get guys as comfortable as they can in certain spots in the lineup. The more you can go out with the same lineup, I think the better you are. We do have a very good and deep bench this year, which is going to help us, with pinch hitters and pinch runners. There's some things that need to be figured out, but it's good problems to have. It really is.
Well, Coach, I trust in you and Coach Robe to put your heads together, make the right choices throughout the year, as I'm sure the rest of Cajun Nation is. I got a lot more questions to ask you before the start of the season, Coach, so we might have to do this again, okay?
Anytime, buddy. Appreciate you having me on.
Thank you so much, Coach.
All right, Ryan.